This is a mock interview conducted by Forum IAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent professors, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
So tell us something about yourself.
So my name is Kiran P B. I was born and brought up in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. I did my schooling at St. Thomas Residential School. And after that, I did my graduation in Electronics and Communication Engineering from Government Engineering College, Barton Hill. After that, I started working at Robert Bosch. Then I moved on to Oracle in 2013 January. And ever since that, I have been working at Oracle. My hobbies are playing basketball, and I also watch football and MotoGP.
So this is your first interview, UPSC interview, or earlier also you have appeared in interview?
Sir, this is my first UPSC interview and my last interview as well, because from the age limit point of view, this is my last answer.
And what is the date of interview?
Sir, it's on May 12th.
May 12th. So you have got enough time. Only thing is that members will be pretty tired by that time.
Okay,
and they will be much more educated in current affairs and things, because they'll be asking the same questions again and again. So you have to be more prepared in the current affairs and the related issues which are really in news these days.
Okay, sure, sir.
Then how did you do in your main exam, public administration?
Sir, I think I did fairly okay. I was satisfied with whatever I could write there, because I think I gave it my best, but I don't think I'll be like a topper or something, but I think I was able to give my best there, sir. Okay,
so you are satisfied with the performance in the mains?
Yes, sir, I'm satisfied with the performance in the mains, especially because in November, actually, I got married, and in December, I got COVID, and I had to go through a lot of post-COVID related problems, and finally in January, I had to give the mains examination. So all through that, I could give whatever best I could, and I'm happy that I could make it to the interview.
Okay. So congratulations for your marriage. It's late.
Thank you, sir.
You have taken public administration as a subject.
Yes, sir.
What are the ingredients of rule of law?
Sir, rule of law basically states that the law should be the same for everyone, and everybody should be put to the same laws of the state, such that there are no exceptions. So, sir, I think the rule of law originated fundamentally based on the system that prevailed in France, where they had two set of laws, one for the common man and one for the government servants. And A.B. Dicey proposed the rule of law, where he said that there should be a common ground using which people should be governed, sir.
So there is something called rule of law index.
Yes, sir.
What do they count? How they create this index?
Sorry, sir. I'll read on that. I'm not really sure about that.
And in India, what is happening about the rule of law index? Is it going down or going up in recent times?
Sorry, sir. I'm not sure about that, sir.
Okay. There's something called happiness index.
Yes, sir. I've heard about it, sir. I've read about it also.
So if you heard about it, which country started? Some countries started this.
Sir, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's a Scandinavian country. Okay. So then I'm sorry, sir. I think I got it wrong there, sir.
It is Bhutan which has started it.
Okay, sir.
Happiness.
Okay, sir.
No idea.
So, sorry, sir.
Guru. Yeah.
Sorry.
Being Vishiguru must have been at the top of happiness in the happiness index, isn't it? Just have a look at that.
Sure, sir.
Can you use electronics and communication to improve public administration and to improve governance?
Yes, sir. We can definitely use electronics and communication engineering to improve public administration and governance.
How?
So communication definitely helps us exchange ideas more effectively and in a faster way. And with the new developments that are happening in the communication world, we have been able to tide over the pandemic. We have been able to exchange ideas more freely and also have a connected world even in this tough and challenging
Give us a
times.
few examples.
Sure,
Give
sir.
us a few examples where this has helped in improving the governance.
Sure, sir. So, with respect to communication, the social media has brought the administration closer to the people. So, if I can give a specific example here, the Indian Railway Ministry's Twitter handle has been actively engaging with passengers and addressing their concerns real time. And also, our ministers like Ms. Sushma Swaraj has been actively interacting with people over Twitter and exchanging ideas. And on the other front, from the electronics standpoint of view, sir, the e-governance which we have ushered in through the use of electronic devices and Aadhaar verification that we have through biometrics and similar gadgets have really improved the administration, provided it with more efficiency and also weeded out malpractices and inefficiency from the system. So these kinds of practices have helped us remain more efficient and also more connected. And advancements like telemedicine has also
Can you
helped us.
adverse, undesirable uses of communication and technology?
Yes, sir. Communication, if not used properly, could also be used as a negative source, sir. So, if the messages like fake news, sir, or hate campaigns, or cyber hacking and cyber crimes which are happening are negative misuse of the communication system that we have, sir.
So in fact, even Facebook says that we want to check these kind of fake news and sort of news which is undesirable. Still,
Yes,
they are
sir.
not able to check.
Yes,
They say
sir.
our algorithm can detect these. What could be the reason why the algorithm is not able to detect such fake news and things and take remedial action?
So I think the fake news per se is very hard to verify, and the original sources have to be tracked down.
Why it is
Sir,
hard to verify?
Sir, if I can talk in the context of an example, sir, if we have a Facebook post stating some facts, to track down those facts and find the reality on the ground, unless there is information available on the internet to counter verify this, the algorithm cannot do it. So if it's a report on a meeting that took place or a transcript of a speech that somebody gave, if there is no other source to cross verify it, the algorithm definitely will not be able to cross verify it. That is one thing, sir. And the second thing is, even if
hate news one can verify, the language translation, hate news you can find out and verify. Fake news you may not be in a position to do that.
Correct,
but if it is a hate news,
yes, sir,
algorithm can verify, isn't it?
Yes, sir. So the hate news campaigns can be found out by the algorithms, but then also there is a fine line between curbing hate speech and also the right to freedom of people. So we cannot say for sure if something is particularly hate speech as such, or is it particularly.
No, those are border cases. Blatantly hateful speeches have also been appearing in the Facebook.
Yes, sir.
And Myanmar, for that matter, even Delhi riots.
Yes, sir.
These are live examples of how Facebook has created havoc.
Yes, sir.
So, being a student of science, how can you suggest, what measures you can suggest that should be taken to check these?
Sir, I think first of all, the hate speech should definitely be handled in a strong way by putting in the hate keywords, basically the keywords which are likely to cause hate. And at the same time, handles which are repeatedly posting these kind of hate speeches and similar articles should also be tightly monitored so that there is harmony between the communities.
No, Facebook says we are doing that, but they say that the keywords that you are saying,
yes, sir,
if it is in local language,
sir,
the English translation cannot capture, and that's why most of the hate news is passed as a good news.
Yes, sir. I think
what can be done for that?
So I think, sir, we should identify those kind of languages which are causing hate speeches and identify the keywords in those languages as well. Maybe the regional languages also, so that the system can use it and identify the hate speeches. And additionally, we can also integrate natural language processing and natural language translation process into the hate speech identifying algorithm, so that it can translate these words into corresponding languages that it understands, sir, and take a call on it.
Have you heard of Cambridge Analytica?
Yes, sir.
It came in news quite some time back.
Yes,
do you know what for? Why it came in news?
Sir, I think Cambridge Analytica came in news because it was told that they helped external organizations by monetizing the not monetizing, but providing external organizations with information regarding the users that had been using social media platforms, sir.
Did they not influence some elections, important elections?
Sir, there are allegations of them influencing some major elections, but I'm not really sure, sir.
You're not aware of any major election which came in the news?
Sorry, sir. I think I've heard about the American elections being influenced by them, sir, but I'm not able to recollect the specifics, sir.
That was Trump election, and they also claimed that Indian election also this was done. This was used. What about Pegasus? Do you justify use of Pegasus?
Sir, Pegasus, the use of Pegasus by any organization to protect its national interest, I think is okay, sir. But the unwanted snooping on people using Pegasus, I think is not the right way to use Pegasus. So Pegasus as such is developed as a utility for securing national interest, and we should respect the liberty and freedom of people and be using it, sir.
Okay. The principle of jurisprudence generally says you are innocent till you are proved guilty.
Yes,
now,
sir.
there is an act.
Yes, sir.
I mean, which is enforced in India,
yes,
which treats you as guilty till you are proved by the court.
Yes,
and
sir.
for proving yourself guilty, you have to give evidence. The burden of proof lies on you. Which act I'm referring to? Which act I'm referring to?
Sir, is it the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, sir?
So, do you think it is a justified act in a free country like ours, that you start treating the person as criminal, as guilty even before the court has ordered, and you ask him to prove that he is not a thief? How would you know that he is not a thief? What evidence he will collect and give?
Okay, sir. Sir, I think it is a little unfortunate on the victim or the a person whom UAP is being charged on, that he is found guilty until proven innocent. So I think it is a little harsh on the person it is charged on. But considering the fact that a diverse nation like India has many adversaries in its neighborhood, India needs a strong law to act against terrorism, sir. So in my take, UAPA Act needs to be applied at a very cautious level by maybe having a central committee which reviews the case in its full merit before the charges are applied, sir. And at the same time, we should also give some thought into the small number of convictions that we have had from the number of cases that we have charged with UAPA. So I think based on that, we need a reform in the UAPA law, definitely, sir. And I think there should be wide consultation also on how to make the law more favorable for the innocent.
Okay. Now, my last question. You
Sure,
treat, say, Congress and BJP as two companies.
Yes, sir.
How do you compare their management skills?
Sir, if you treat them as two separate companies, both of them have their pros and cons. So if I may start with one thing, I think the Congress has had a good background where they had a lot of statesmen who have helped cement democracy.
No, in the past we are not talking so much.
Okay,
you
sir.
Can make a reference to the past, but how they are managing as on today? What is the difference between the two?
Okay, sir, I think if I take it on a pure management or a private firm point of view alone, sir, I think in Congress there are many subsections which are operating not in unity with the major section. So if I may put it, there are multiple units who have their own personal interest that is not aligned to the organizational goals right now. But at the same time, if I take BJP, there are multiple units and their personal goals is in alignment with the organizational goals, I believe, sir. So I would like to see that.
The organizational
that
goal, both of them are managing differently. What else?
Sir, other than that, I think from an ideological standpoint, I think BJP has a very strong ideological standpoint that is in sync with whatever lines they have. But Congress has a diverse, very a broad spectrum of ideologies that they want to support and a broad spectrum of subsections that they want to support, which results in them their energy being fueled in multiple channels and not really being focused, I think, sir.
Okay. Anything else?
Sir, other than that, I think there is a need for a strong leadership team in any organization and a good structure also in the organization to succeed. I think BJP at this moment has that, and Congress is in the process of building one, sir. Sorry, sir, you broke off again, sir.
Anything on man management?
So on man management, sorry, sir.
All kind of people who can win election, accept them,
Okay, sir.
and the other one
Okay,
allows
sir.
good people to go away. So don't you think there's Kumarji?
Sir, if you look at that point of view, people always have their own.
Just think about it. This is just a comment. Just think about it.
Sure,
Kumarji?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kiran,
Yes, sir.
You have opted for public administration as an optional paper.
Yes, sir.
Why you decided to choose this paper for your civil services main examination?
Sir, given that I already had an engineering background, I thought knowledge of public administration would help me become a good civil servant if I get into this service, sir. So, so the combination of engineering plus
it is a type of pre-entry training that you wanted to have.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to take that because in case if I get
public administration.
Yes, sir.
You may have read public administration a lot, but I have heard a term in that there's something called new public administration.
Yes, sir.
So what is this concept of new public administration?
Sir, I think new public administration came about. Sir,
I don't want to know the history.
Okay, sir.
What are the goals of new public administration? How it differs from public administration?
Yes, sir. So new public administration was mainly value driven, since it was since it came in the context of the issues that the American society was facing at that point of time. So they said that public administration should be a means to solve the problems of the society, and that it should act in ways such that the values such as equality and fairness and transparency and similar things could be upheld, sir. So the public administration of yesterday's or the public administration prior to new public administration was value neutral and was not really concerned with the value part, sir.
There is something called new public management.
Yes, sir.
Is that new public management?
So when public administration, to increase its efficiency, it had to follow management principles, like stressing on efficiency through good recruitment and similar items, sir. So basically bringing in management practices into public administration to enhance the efficiency of delivery of service.
I ask you to tell me 4 features of new public management.
Yes, sir.
I ask you to tell me 4 features of new public management.
Yes, sir.
Give me your answer. 4 features. 1, 2,
yes,
3.
Sir. Yes, sir. So the first feature I would say, sir, systematic appraisal system. Second feature I would say, sir, is an efficient. Sorry, sir. A cost benefit analysis, sir. And third feature I would say is.
Have you read someone or somewhere, or you're guessing?
Sir, I'm a little confused on the concepts right now, sir. So that is why I'm a little
It is
hazy
citizens
there.
empowerment, it is decentralization, it is goal orientation. Done.
Okay,
Then
sir.
we can say managerial support services. These are some aspects basically.
Okay,
It's,
sir.
uh, as a student of public administration, can you tell us
Yes, sir.
that what are the reforms which have been initiated by the government of India with respect to civil services? That is administrative reforms initiated in India.
Yes, sir. So the latest one that has been put forward by the government is Mission Karma Yogi, where the government is training civil servants to be more efficient and apt, and to have practical experience and to be more responsive.
How it is being done?
Sir, it's being done in an online mode, sir, where the training is imparted and coordinated by the Prime Minister's office, sir. And this is being done so that the civil servants can also be abreast of the developments that are
We have
happening.
talked about Mission Karma Yogi.
Yes, sir.
There is a vision of a Karma Yogi civil servant in that
Yes,
book.
sir.
If you have read or not read, I don't know.
Okay,
But
sir.
there is a vision
Okay,
of
sir.
vision for a Karma Yogi civil servant. So
Okay,
can
sir.
you tell us that what is that vision? What are the qualities needed for a
Okay,
Karma
sir.
Yogi civil servant?
Sorry, sir, I have not read that specific Karma Yogi
You
features,
said
but
that is okay. Another thing I'll ask you.
sir,
That the government has decided to have lateral entry into the civil services,
yes,
the
sir.
joint secretary level.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us that how far this lateral entry has been successful? What type of step it is, good or bad?
Sir, I think the lateral entry into the civil services is definitely a good step, sir, because it is a way that has been proven by multiple countries across the world that lateral entrance bring cross-domain knowledge and has helped in bringing efficiency into the government sector. So the fact that the government is trying to hire people with 10 to 15 years of domain expertise in the respective field as lateral entrance helps.
We all know all these things.
Yes, sir.
One thing we all know.
Yes, sir.
But I wanted to know from you that
yes,
how
sir.
far this lateral entry has been successful in
Yes,
our
sir.
country.
Sir, I think it has been partially successful because the lateral entrants have been able to provide domain expertise, but at the same time, the short tenure that has been provided to them has also made them less incentivized towards the work. And thus, I think, sir, we might need some tweaks in the lateral entry recruitment process as well as in their service conditions. But I think it is definitely a step in the right direction, and it has brought about
it's all right.
some efficiency, sir.
It's all right. It's all right.
Yes, sir.
But it is always said by some critics
yes, sir.
that the IAS officers and the others who are aspiring to be the joint secretaries, they will be demotivated.
Yes. Okay, sir.
So,
okay. Sir, I think merit is always recognized in the service. So if you believe in your skill sets and if you have confidence in your caliber, and definitely the service provides you with opportunities to become a very senior official, and hence the civil servants in the service should never be concerned about lateral entrants who might come in if they believe in their own true skills and have self-confidence, sir.
Kiran, one thing I'd like to know from you, you are from the southern part of the country.
Yes, sir.
If you will be offered to work in any of the northern states, which
yes,
state you will choose?
So, sir, I would choose Gujarat, sir.
You will choose Gujarat. Why?
Sir, I've heard that the structure or the organized civil service organization there is very conducive to work with and provides you with a lot of diverse opportunities and challenges.
It is not there in the other states?
Sir, my knowledge about the civil service structure in other states is limited. But I've heard from many sources that the structure in Gujarat
it is the Prime Minister's home state. You want to work there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell us something about the culture of Gujarat?
Sir, I think the Gujarat model is one
Right
of
now
the.
is culture of Gujarat. I'm not talking
Okay,
about
sir.
the model of development. No.
Okay,
Culture.
sir. So the Gujarat people definitely speak Gujarati, sir,
That is
and
it.
and I've also been to places like Rajkot for sports, sir, and I've, sir.
Okay, solid. You chose the western part. Now, if
Yes,
you
sir.
ask you that whether in which northern states you want to work, northern states,
Yes, sir.
which state will be your answer?
Uh, Not one state. Sir, I would choose Uttar Pradesh, sir.
You choose Uttar Pradesh.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Sir, I believe there's a lot of opportunity there for a civil servant to do well, and there are a lot of challenges also present there.
Okay, what type of works you will be doing as a civil servant there that you cannot do in Punjab, you cannot do in Haryana? What
Okay.
specific thing you will be doing in the state of Uttar Pradesh?
Sir, I think Uttar Pradesh has a lot of needs that needs to be provided by a lot of things on the social development front that needs to be provided by a civil servant, and I think I can really help on that front. And I also believe that the Uttar Pradesh geographic location poses with some great challenges regarding the neighborhood and the
Okay, you're saying
topography, sir.
in Uttar Pradesh, which is how many districts are there in Uttar Pradesh?
Sorry, sir, I'm not sure about that.
You are saying sir this much and that, so you need to know.
Sure, sir, I'll read on that, sir.
What is the population of Uttar Pradesh?
Sorry, sir, I don't recollect the exact number, sir.
Okay, what is the perception of Uttar Pradesh
Yes,
in the
sir.
mind of a person living in Kerala? That is in your mind. Perception, I am asking.
Okay, sir. Sir, Uttar Pradesh is first of all seen as a very big state and a very huge populous state. And compared to Kerala, which has high population density, sees Uttar Pradesh like a similar place because there's a huge population there also. But at the same time, compared to Kerala, the social development factors are indicators are relatively low in Uttar Pradesh, and hence these are some things that can be quickly improved in Uttar Pradesh. And definitely the topography is very different because in Kerala we have the Western Ghats and we get summer rain and those kind of things, sir. But in Uttar Pradesh, the climate and the topography are very different, and definitely the culture is also different, sir.
So, switching over from this topic to another topic,
Yes, sir.
the Supreme Court has recently
Yes, sir.
held the view that it will hear the petition on electoral bonds.
Okay, sir.
So, have you heard about this electoral bonds?
Yes, sir. I've heard about electoral bonds.
Okay, it's all right. We all have heard about electoral bonds.
Yes, sir.
Now, how far such type of electoral bonds, their introduction can be justified?
Sir, I think electoral bonds have definitely helped in bringing into forefront some kind of accountability on electoral funding, sir. But the fact that the party in rule is getting the majority of the funding is definitely a concern that has to be looked into, sir. Because
So that we cannot stop. That we cannot
yes,
stop.
sir. Yes, sir.
Now, here, what the critics are saying, what is the
Yes, sir.
critics whom I am asking? Political parties, anyone can get the money, that is a different thing.
Yes,
But
sir.
what are the objections? Why the
Yes, sir.
ADR has gone to the Supreme Court?
So I'm not aware of this specific scenario, but I have heard that one of the major criticism for the electoral bond has been the anonymity of the donations and also the lack of scrutiny for donations up to a certain limit is present, which makes it easy for people to break down their donations into those chunks and fund the party that they want, sir.
Hope you will develop some more ideas on it by reading more into it. Some
Sure,
articles
sir.
maybe you need to develop. Thank you.
Sure,
Thank you.
sir. Thank you,
Over
sir.
to our next panelist.
Rahul, please. Rahul.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
So, Kiran.
Yes, sir.
Kiran, you have worked in Oracle, right?
Yes, sir. I've worked at Oracle, sir. And I'm working now also at Oracle, sir.
Great. Can you tell me what is the difference between artificial intelligence and machine learning?
Sir, in artificial intelligence, basically the system basically tries to apply the human kind of intelligence and to identify situations. So if I may put it across as an example, in artificial intelligence, maybe image recognition of fruits in an image can be said as artificial intelligence. But at the same time, in machine learning, the machine keeps on learning and keeps on developing on itself. So, sir, one example that I can give you here is we had a website where we could type in a person's name and fill questions related to that personality, and the site will try to guess the individual. So there, basically, the machine is actually learning more and more about the individuals through the questions that it is asking. So this would be the main difference, sir.
Okay. So what are the threats that these technologies pose to governance and administration of the country?
Yes, sir. So artificial intelligence and machine learning, if not used in the right sense, without ethics and without guidelines, could be a problem for the administration and governance, sir. So to give an example, the hate news campaigns or the fake news campaigns could could prove to be a big problem to the society, which has to be dealt with by the administration and the governance. And also new technology like deep fake, where new videos can be released or new images can be released using other people's faces, is also a similar threat that could send wrong messages to the general public, sir.
What is blockchain?
Sir, blockchain is a distributed ledger. So it was fundamentally formed for the cryptocurrency Bitcoin initially, but blockchain as such has found many other applications as well now. So in blockchain, basically the data is distributed across multiple systems. Basically, the ledger data is distributed across multiple systems, and that provides it the advantage that no single user or the system has a master copy. So that helps maintain its authenticity, sir.
Okay. So do you know about what is fungible and non-fungible tokens?
Yes, sir. I've actually read a little about it, sir.
Sure, you can
Sure, sir.
tell us what.
So I've visited a non-fungible NFT token exchange, Bazirex, where non-fungible tokens are basically digital. Mainly, I see digital work there, sir. Digital artifacts like photographs or animations or videos, which are basically traded there for between users, sir. So non-fungible tokens are something that doesn't have an intrinsic value, but has a digital value, sir.
Okay, so suppose so Bitcoin is a fungible token or non-fungible token?
So I think it's a non-fungible token because it doesn't have any intrinsic value, sir. It's only has a digital value, sir.
Okay, suppose we want to use the blockchain for real estate.
Yes,
and
sir.
for every piece of land, we want to generate a token.
Yes, sir.
Using the blockchain. Would it be a fungible token or non-fungible token?
So for every piece of land, we generate a token using blockchain. So, sir, is the question, is the token fungible or non-fungible?
Yes, that is the question.
Okay, sir. Sir, I think the token is basically representing a piece of land, sir, there. So I think it can be considered as a fungible token because the land has an intrinsic value, sir.
Okay. Then tell me, what is cloud computing?
Sir, in cloud computing, a particular system will host your application in a central space, and different users can access the system or this software from different locations using internet. To give an example, I could be running a software in my computer and exposing it through the internet to other users. And other users can access it through their computers or their handheld mobile devices and be using it. So they are saved the burden of not having to host it, sir.
Is it safe for Indian government applications to switch to cloud?
So cloud computing definitely has a lot of advantages, but at the same time, we should also be aware of the negative sides of it. So coming back to the original question, sir, I think critical data systems should be maintained not in the cloud, sir. Like data systems which are integral to the national security or the defense forces should not be maintained in the cloud. And even if they're maintained in the cloud, their data centers should be hosted in our country and in very secure locations, sir.
Okay. Can you name some institutions which are involved in the protection of critical information infrastructure of India?
Sir, one organization that comes to my mind right now is CERT, sir, Computer Emergency Response Team. And other than that, I think National Informatics Center, sir, NIC. And other than that, I think CDAC also has some projects working on national security, sir.
Okay. Okay. Have you heard of the FANG companies?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What is the full form of FANG? I'm not asking you. Can you just name a few of them? It's fine.
Yes. So Facebook, Apple, Google, and I think it's Netflix, sir.
Yeah, Netflix and Amazon. So
Netflix and Amazon. Sir.
World over, there are anxieties that these are self-perpetuating monopolies, because you launch a portal, you get more data, you better yourself with that data, and then you get more customers.
Yes, sir.
From an administrative perspective, how do you think we should regulate them?
Sir, I think from an administrative perspective, the Competition Commission we should focus on the competition aspect, where one market is not completely being monopolized by one particular aggregator, sir. So if we take the example of Amazon, we should also have other e-commerce operators operating in one space. And even if Amazon tries to acquire those companies, there should be laws in place so that it never becomes a monopoly, sir. And at the same time, if the market share of one particular company is very high, we should also be keeping a strong watch on that, and also be making sure that the interest of the consumers is not being sacrificed by the organization, sir.
Okay. So you are from Kerala, right?
Yes, sir.
And there was a controversy regarding women entry in Sabrimala.
Yes, sir.
What was that controversy?
So there was a case in the Supreme Court where some women wanted to enter the temple, and the Supreme Court opened the temple for women, and a few women tried to enter the temple, but there were some protests and related things which tried to prevent their entry of women into the temple, sir.
Recently, we have seen Supreme Court interfering in a lot of matters like Sabrimala, Hijab Road, Triple Talaq, and
Yes,
they use what we call an essentiality test.
Yes, sir.
What is that essentiality test?
So the essentiality test as such has not been defined anywhere, but some of the cases that the Supreme Court has been using for this essentiality test is whether a practice has been mentioned in the religious scriptures of that particular religion, or whether if we do not do that practice, if we would be expelled from that particular religion. And also if a particular practice is per se a part of the practice of the per se, if a particular practice is an essentiality in the practice of the religion, sir.
Okay. Do you think it is really in the competence of judges of Supreme Court? Means all their life they were studying law in leading law universities, and all of a sudden they are now reading Quran and Mahabharata and Bible and so on. Do you really think does it really fit?
Sir, I think one of the Supreme Court judges himself has criticized it that they are not theologists and they do not have adequate knowledge about this. But I think in sometimes some regressive practices that are there in some religions should be curbed in considering the social justice and the larger interest of the society, sir.
Okay. Do you think it is a case of judicial overreach? And perhaps these questions should be solved by the parliament and legislative assemblies who involve the representatives of people?
Sir, I think in certain cases, it is definitely this is a judicial overreach. But in certain cases where the parliament is not able to come to a consensus and to provide people with a strong legislation, I think the Supreme Court definitely provides relief to the common man. So if I may quote an example here, I think, sir, the triple talaq, which was highly unfavorable towards the women, was a good good verdict by the Supreme Court for women equality, sir.
Okay. My last question.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me, means you can take a minute, 2 minutes, I will give you even 3 minutes, but can you tell me 10 tips that every government servant should follow to ensure cyber security? Give me 10 simple tips, because not every government servant is IT savvy. So can you give me 10 simple tips that every government servant should follow?
Yes, sir. So, sir, can I just take some time to recollect the 10 tips?
Sure.
Do you mind if I write them down here in my...
You can write them in chat box also. You can take it as a parallel for the paper and pen that you will get in actual interview.
You can do loud thinking also. You can do loud thinking. Keep on telling one by one.
Okay, sir. So, sir, definitely one of the first things that come to my mind is that we should always have a strong password, sir. So, strong password, which involves multiple alphanumeric and special characters, sir. That is one thing. And the second thing is, I think we should also be changing the password very often, maybe like once in 3 months. Mm-hmm. Once in 3 months.
Yes.
And changing the password once in 3 months. We should also be logging out of all the systems when we are not using it, rather than keeping ourselves timed in. Log off when not in use. Other than that, we should never be storing our password in any simple files or even passing it on to others. If possible, it is best to use a virtual private network so that we have an added layer of protection. Sir, other than that, we could also... So these are tips that a civil servant can use, not something that can be implemented on a system, right, sir?
Right. These are only tips. This is basically a charter that perhaps every government servant should follow.
Okay, sir. Always use a trusted browser like Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. And we can always clear our cache and cookies so that any data that has been stored in them can also be erased.
Okay, clear cache basically.
Yes, sir. So clear cache and cookies. And other than that, I think, sir, we should never be using public Wi-Fis because they could be prone to snooping.
Don't you think that the government is nowadays providing public Wi-Fis on railway stations and you are asking people not to use them? Don't you think it goes against the government policy?
Sir, I think critical data should never be used from a public Wi-Fi, sir, because public Wi-Fis are very easy to snoop. And for those reasons, maybe non-sensitive data can be accessed from it. But for a civil servant who has access to sensitive data, I would never suggest a public Wi-Fi, sir.
Okay. I think that's enough for time being. I would pass on to the chairperson now. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir.